Hey guys, today is the 4th anniversary of Murder Drones, and I wanted to do something special. I know it's a little different from my commentary and like lore type videos that I do, but I wanted to like experiment with content, see what you guys thought of it, and if you liked it, I'll do more of it. Uh, I thought this sounded like fun. I hope you guys have fun with it too. Uh, I'd also like to say, starting out, I honestly don't see very many people in this show like not being nerdy or not having nerdy tastes. Uh, and one thing that I've said about Murder Drones and like Glitch Productions shows in general is they radiate, and I'm saying this as somebody with autism, they radiate autistic energy in all the good ways. I absolutely love it. So, before we get into it, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. I think this is going to be fun. I hope you guys have fun with it too. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I'd like to bring up a couple things starting out before we get right into the video. And that is one, to get the, I guess, ideas for what their favorite shows would be. I had conversations with other Murder Drones fans and my friends, and I also just straight up came up with some of them. And two, to get the footage I needed for this video, I went and I got footage corresponding to each character from different YouTube channels. So shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. And I will also have their channels linked down in the description. Starting out with my boy N, I feel like he's really a nature documentary kind of guy, especially after the opening scene in episode 5. He's got just a stack of books about animals and stuff. So I definitely feel like while he would definitely watch what Uzi watches also, like with her, I feel like he's definitely a nature documentary kind of a guy, but like more more on the lighthearted side of things. I don't really picture him watching ones that are too disturbing or violent. It just doesn't seem like him. Now, Uzi's were really easy to figure out. It's pretty obvious because, I mean, she brings it up in the show, but I also wanted to get into specifics, and that also did not stop me from having fun with this one. Uzi definitely likes not just anime, but I feel like cartoons that would radiate a very bombastic, kind of over the top, uh, very showy type energy. So I feel like she'd be a pretty big fan of a series like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but also I feel like she'd also be a pretty big fan of something like My Hero Academia and Konosuba. Also, I feel like she's definitely a fan of the Helliverse, but also cannot forget it's said in the first episode that I guess pirating all that anime wasn't useless when she strikes a pose. So I also feel like we need to throw in some martial arts anime. I couldn't really think of a ton, to be honest, and I felt like her time range would have been like 2010s, and I couldn't think of any. From what me and my friends discussed about Khan likes like quintessential old people entertainment. He is definitely watching whatever the hell is on the Hallmark Channel and Fox News, probably while also playing Wordle and Gardenscapes or something like that while drinking frickin' chamomile tea or black coffee. Was I a bit hard on Khan? Maybe. He went from in the show from being hated character to underrated funny man. Personally, I still haven't really forgiven him for what he did to Uzi in episode 1. I've warmed up to him and I kind of like him, but still. Now, Doll, like, while I was having the conversation with my friends, I was like, like, I really didn't know. She was one of the ones that I absolutely hit a freaking wall with. And then one of my friends brought up, oh, she'd totally be a fan of Berserk and Death Note. And yeah, absolutely. Doll definitely seems like an edgelord, but like she's got a reason to be an edgelord, you know? So definitely things like Berserk or Death Note, Elfen Lied, Hellsing Ultimate. I feel like she'd be a pretty big fan of all of those shows. Now, I'd first like to point out about the teacher. I love the teacher, just his energy. That is a level of not giving a damn that I absolutely aspire to be one day. Like when I'm an old man, I aspire to just have that freaking I don't give a crap attitude that he does. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like his taste in shows would be not the best. To be honest, he probably totally falls asleep to game shows and old sitcoms like Married with Children or Seinfeld. I will say I do like Seinfeld and as well as some older sitcoms. I can't think of any right now. Oh yeah, like Mork and Mindy. Also definitely a fan of those needlessly long soap operas that have been going on for way too long. Way too long, like Days of Our Lives or General Hospital. Not that anybody watching these videos would actually know what the hell those are. Alright, now this to me was like one of the most obvious ones that I thought of right off the bat, and Nori's taste is cool as hell. She definitely likes like more retro anime, early 2000s, like 90s and early 2000s. So we're thinking like Gundam Wing, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Ghost in the Shell. I feel like Gundam Wing and Ghost in the Shell would especially fit her, especially with Gundam Wing's first opening. That's an absolute banger. You should definitely listen to that one. And also just getting a look at her room and everything, I really get those vibes off of Nori. Me and my friends kind of came to the unanimous conclusion on Tessa is that this is Tessa Elliott, to clarify. We will get to Sin later in the video. Tessa Elliott is definitely a fan of Pokemon and Gravity Falls, but I feel like she'd also really like The Amazing World of Gumball and Inuyasha. I don't really know why. It just kind of makes sense to me. If you think about it, Tessa Elliott, the real Tessa Elliott, only appeared in 2 episodes of Murder Drones, and one of them was for a few seconds. Just thought that was interesting. Now, Lizzie, I feel like is definitely a fan of high school dramas like Euphoria or The Summer I Turned Pretty. I feel like those fit her very well. She definitely also craps on everybody else or for watching cartoons or anime, but I feel like she's also a secret fan of TDI or My Hero Academia. She'd also be the kind of person to watch the Studio Ghibli movies and call them mid. And the only freaking people that would agree with her are Rebecca or the other members of her entourage. She definitely also thinks Twilight is peak fiction. Now, Rebecca, I literally just went over this. Rebecca likes whatever the hell Lizzie likes. Now, Thad's the cool jock, and a lot of my experiences with the cooler ones have been like anime. I feel like Thad definitely likes anime, and that's what inspired him to train. Dragon Ball Z, One Punch Man, Naruto, something like that. I feel like if he had a YouTube channel also, he'd be posting edits of his favorite anime characters or of like Saitama and Goku and stuff. Maybe even Gojo and Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen would be something else that he'd like. Now, Jay is one of those characters that I was like, it's less of what she would watch and more like how she would watch. I feel like she would watch something like The Boys and side with Vought International or Has Been Hotel and side with the Angels. She'd also be the member of like every toxic fandom there is, angrily typing hate comments if you don't agree with her ship. I I I feel like this fits Jay like just absolutely perfectly. Now, Sin, I feel like me and my friends discussed this, and we feel like you could go one of two ways with her. She's either like it either reflects her perfectly, like she likes everything that's violent and chaotic and just totally over the top and crazy, like Elfen Lied or The Boys, but she also shows some really like acts like a freaking child too. So we also feel like she would be perfectly happy with something like Dora the Explorer or the Octonauts or something like that. Alice, Alice, I feel like would she might watch like those really disturbing murder documentaries, but I feel like those romance TV shows where people die and no one's happy would be more her speed. And also because she likes torture, Velma. She would 100% love Velma because like I said, she likes torture. These last few characters, I I didn't have a ton of ideas for, but I did manage to think some up. V, I honestly can't see her watching any TV shows at all. Bo, I feel like he enjoys a good sitcom. The guy who the guy who's playing cards with everyone else at the beginning of episode 1, I couldn't really think of anything either. And Sparky, the raptor, the not raptor, sentinel, sorry. I feel like would just enjoy a whole mix of cartoons and anime. I don't know. It took me a while to record and edit all this. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a lot different than the content I usually do. What did you guys think of it? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you. Once again, it took me a while to record and edit this. So unless I see a demand for this kind of video, I don't think I'll do too much more of these. Like I said, unless there's a demand. Also, shout out to the user nchaos for the idea. Once again, I have them linked down in the comments. Thank you guys for, not in the comments, the description, my bad. Thank you guys for watching. What content would you like to see me do next? Let me know down in the comments. Happy 4th anniversary, Murder Drones fans.